Hey guys, thanks for coming back to my channel. It's Kevin here. We've got another fall video, and this time we're gonna do Yankee Candle. What I'm gonna do that is different from the spring Yankee Candle that I did, I'm not gonna give you my all-time favorites for this particular season. We're gonna talk about fall this time around. What I'm gonna do something similar to what I do with Bath and Body Works. And that is my annual series with Bath and Body Works of, hey, please bring back these fall candles. We're gonna do the same thing with Yankee Candle this time around. So it's not necessarily a top 10. You would see a lot of these though in my top 10 for fall all time, just not everything I have here. Technically, I have 11 candles here. I cheated on one of them, so we'll talk about that when we get there. If you're just now stumbling across this channel, finding me for the first time, and you're wondering why am I talking fall candles in June? Well, it's all predicated by the candle companies. Honestly, Yankee Candle is probably the worst offender. They get started earlier than anybody. I've seen Yankee Candle drop their fall releases in May before. So, and I don't blame them one bit. You know, if they didn't drop them considerably earlier than the rest of the candle companies, they'd probably be forgotten about by a large group of people. So I totally understand, and that's the way it is with Yankee Candle now. They're kind of an afterthought. I know there are the devotees out there. I'm not talking about y'all guys. I know you love your Yankee Candles. And at one time, this was the absolute cat's meow for me as far as candle companies go. And we'll see, you know, fall candles in June and July. We'll see Christmas candles in September and October released. We'll see spring candles before Christmas even gets here. Summer candles, whenever they get released. I don't know. I don't follow summer candles. So that's basically with anything nowadays. The marketing and sales, they want to really kind of amp that up early to get people excited, to enhance that anticipation. So, you know, July is kind of that month that has been the unofficial month for fall or Halloween releases as far as that goes. I watch Spooky Villages here on YouTube. Doug, he talks about the Halloween Limax villages. So that kind of gets me revving in the mood for fall as well. Love Doug, love his channel. And we'll see companies, you know, with the Halloween animatronics start their releases in July anyway. Lowe's, Home Depot, Spirit Halloween, At Home will drop their Halloween stuff in July. Cracker Barrel as well. Summerween is a huge thing on social media now, so it's just Halloween in summer if you're a huge fan of that holiday. So it's all kind of fall related. Don't be surprised. I know most of you are used to this now following my channel for many years. It's just when I've always done it. But if you're new to the channel, I did want to explain that to you. And so before we get into the top 10, I do want to let everybody know I've been with all of these candles for a very long time. Everything I have here is retired, and that's why we're going to ask Yankee Candle to bring them back, you know, returning favorites. Except for one, I don't know. I'm unsure on one of them if it is officially retired, but everything else I have here has been retired by Yankee Candle, and that's the reason why I'm asking them to bring them back. I don't have a bunch of black band candles here that I've never burned before. That guy, you know who that guy is. That's not me. I'm not doing that. I spent many years with everything I have in this list, and I've burned multiples of everything I have here except for one of these candles, and it was a European release. So that's the reason why I haven't burned multiples of that one. But everything else I'm very, very familiar with, and I've actually burned. That's a huge part of this. I mean, I know you can kind of smell stuff on cold and say, yeah, this is amazing. But I'm going off of my actual experiences having burned the candles. Kind of makes sense. Let's start off with this one, with number 10. It is this one right here, 2019, the last great year for fall from Yankee Candle. I know a lot of you are gonna think this is Cider House, but it's not. It's this one right here. It's Pumpkin Apple Parfait. Now, I feel like when they released their fall candles that year, this one got a little bit later release, like it was pushed back a little bit. I'm not 100% sure why. It feels like it was, just going off of memory, but Pumpkin Apple Parfait, this is the one that I was thinking, okay, maybe it's potentially not been retired yet. Let me know if you know in the comments below. because I'm not 100% sure. I think it has been though. It's very reminiscent to Homeworks spiced vanilla pumpkin. So if you smelled that before, you probably know what this smells like a good amount. I mean, it's a caramel apple. It's one of those creamy caramel apples. It's very, very buttery. And I know somebody's gonna say, well, you're describing Summer Boardwalk. Yeah, it's kind of one of those candles, a branch of the Summer Boardwalk tree, just like spiced vanilla pumpkin. So is pumpkin apple parfait. So it's kind of right in between both of those candles. It has the apple that spiced vanilla pumpkin doesn't have, and it has the pumpkin that Summer Boardwalk doesn't have, but it's very similar. I mean, a great style fragrance, a huge thrower. I purchased many of the milk cups in this fragrance. Pumpkin apple parfait to start the list at number 10. Okay, and at number 9, I'm not a huge fan of pear fragrances. There's never been a huge list of pears for fall. But if you're gonna do pear for fall, you need to do it like this, and it's done right this way. And it is Brandy Pear Tart. I wanna say this came out in 2016. I don't know how long it was around. It wasn't around for a very long time. So it's that sweet dessert pear. I'm not a huge fan of pear in home fragrance, especially if you're doing it for fall. Normally, most pears for fall are done with apple in kind of a fresh way. This is definitely sweeter though. This has a good amount of brown sugar, vanilla, cognac, probably that brandy coming through for me. But that pear is absolutely delicious. Smells exactly like what you're getting right here. I know those kind of almost look like apples, and it almost looks like an apple dessert, but Brandy Pear Tart at number 9. Yankee Candle, would love to see you bring that one back. At number 8, here is our tie. So I'll show you why real quick. This one right here, Black Magic, and this one right here, Happy Halloween. They're both tied at number 8, and the reason why is I feel like they're both black licorice fragrances. Now, Black Magic does not have the note listed, but you cannot convince me that this does not have black licorice in it. It's more on the anise side of things, so it's a little bit more herbal and not necessarily candied sweet like black licorice, like Happy Halloween is. But it's got a lot of that darker tone to it. Woodiness, muskiness, vanilla, and leather here in this fragrance. Black Magic, I think there might even be patchouli here too. A lot of dark woodiness, but that black licorice, that anise here, that herbal kind of almost fennel feel to the black licorice, Black Magic. That one right there, I think that one's been discontinued, retired for a few years now at least. And then this one right here, Happy Halloween. Really, this is just black licorice, candied black licorice. And like a smoky, warm clove. It's very warm. It kind of spices up the black licorice here, the candy of it. Maybe a little bit of cinnamon. I've seen people say that maybe there's patchouli in this. I don't really smell patchouli in this at all. It's a candied black licorice, pretty simple. Yeah, and it's spiced. I've burned multiples of this candle right here. At one time I owned 3. I now am down to my last large jar. And really it just depends on what your preference is for a black licorice style. I know a lot of people are not into that fragrance style at all, so I'm not talking to y'all specifically. But if you want your darker take on a black licorice, kind of like Take Me to the Graveyard, a little bit melancholy, yeah, Black Magic is your choice. But if you want more of a black licorice in your trick-or-treating bag, Happy Halloween is your clear go-to. Come on, Yankee Candle. I mean, you would be the only candle company essentially giving us a black licorice fragrance. Would love to see something like that brought back in a Halloween collection. And then from number 8 to number 7, this one right here, I want to say the last year or the year that this came out, I think it was 2014. I don't know how much longer it lasted. I want to say maybe a couple of years. It was this one right here, Apple Spice. Now this was their original flagship apple cider donut fragrance. It's not all that bakery. I mean, I'll be honest, it's not bakery at all, really. Every time I burn this, I feel like I smell apple cider, So it's a pretty apple cider spiced type fragrance, very simple. And really the only thing that deviates this from being a typical straight apple cider is that cinnamon sugar. That cinnamon sugar that you would find on top of an apple cider donut, but there's no bakery here. So it's kind of sitting somewhere in between. I feel like that was a hugely underrated fragrance. And anytime you can tell me something smells or is reminiscent of an apple cider, you know I'm gonna fall in love with it for the most part. Apple Spice from Yankee Candle at number 7. Would love to see that one back. And the last one in this first 5, or technically first 6, is this one right here. It's been many years. I don't know when this one went away. It is my all-time favorite Yankee Candle label though. Really my all-time favorite fall label from any candle company. That's Harvest Welcome. Just look at how well done that is. That is perfection for fall. The fragrance gets compared a lot to pumpkin ginger bark. I want to say the name of it. Yeah, pumpkin ginger bark. And it actually has received a little bit of comparisons to my number 5 fragrance as well. So it's not really deviating a ton from either one. I feel like it is closer to pumpkin ginger bark. Very heavy on the ginger. This kind of smells like almost like a chai, like a pumpkin chai. Really the thing that I feel like sets this apart from pumpkin ginger bark is this has that orange zestiness in it. Now, I'm not talking about orange juice or a juicy orange. No, I'm talking about that rindy, almost even pulpy orange zest. That's what I smell mixed with that pumpkin, mixed with those traditional fall spices. Clove plays a good amount of a role here too. There is a little bit of a sweetness as well. Even nutmeg. Nutmeg really stands out in this. Pumpkin ginger bark does focus on that ginger as well. They both kind of feel like a chai a little bit, a pumpkin chai. I feel like pumpkin ginger bark goes in almost a little bit more baked pumpkin direction, whereas you can kind of smell this pumpkin here and it's more of a fresh pumpkin, more of a spiced pumpkin. But Harvest Welcome at number 6. That's the first 5 that I have in this Yankee Candle. Please bring back these candles for fall. And then this top 5. Oh boy. Oh, we got some doozies in this top 5. Let's do this one at number 5. When is the last time you've heard somebody talk about this candle? It is Vanilla Pumpkin. I want to say this came out in 2012, 2013. So it does get comparisons to Harvest Welcome. I mean, they're not that close, to be honest. I mean, they're in the same ballpark, but not that close, really. Okay, that pumpkin, boy, we just do not see pumpkin like that from Yankee Candle anymore. All the pumpkins they do now are overly sweet, overly gourmand, and they're just too sickeningly sweet, drowned in sweetness, it feels like now. This one, though, let's bring this pumpkin back. I mean, let's get something like this in your line, Yankee Candle. I feel like this pumpkin oil, even when it was out, was not used across the board for all of their pumpkin fragrances. For example, spiced pumpkin. I feel like this pumpkin is different from that. Would love to see this pumpkin oil come back. Just the oil, that's really all I'm asking for. It's not too much. Or something in this vein, in this style. There is a little bit of sweetness, as you would expect with that pumpkin. Maybe almost slightly a maple, not a maple candle by any means. Vanilla Pumpkin, nice blast from the past. At number 5, and at number 4, here's the European release that I mentioned earlier in the video. I'm not 100% sure if this made it to the States or not. Let me know in the comments below, but Autumn Dusk at number 4. I feel like for years I was kind of just yelling into the void with nobody listening, kind of talking about this candle and how great it was. And, you know, it's kind of hard to do that when not everybody gets their hands on a fragrance. You know, you're feeling like you're the only one that's really talking about it. And I kind of was there for a few years. Autumn Dusk. Oh, the first thing that hits me is a sweetened red cedar bark. So immediately, cedar wood, and it's a red cedar specifically, so it's very sweetened. I know the note of pine is listed in this. I don't get pine at all, but it is all about the woods. A slight bit of smokiness here. Just a slight bit of smokiness. Yeah, just a slight bit of smokiness. I know that the note of smoked clove is listed here for this fragrance, but don't think a hot clove like you would get here in Harvest Welcome. No, it's not a real hot, spicy clove at all in this. It really just kind of adds more to that woodiness and adds a light bit of smokiness to it. And the sweetness, I feel like, is definitely coming from the red cedar, maybe even a little bit of a sandalwood. But the red cedar, that's usually more of a sweeter woodsy take than most woods. Autumn Dusk, great picture to kind of give you an idea of what you're getting into with this fragrance. Would love to see people get to experience that one if it never did make it over here. And at number 3, for very sentimental reasons, is my all-time favorite apple cider fragrance. And it's this one right here. It is Mulling Spices. Now, I will take this any day over the original apple cider from Yankee Candle, which I believe is just called apple cider. And one thing I normally do not like in my apple ciders is orange. That can ruin an apple cider for me, whether it's in real life or in home fragrance. I don't want oranges in my apple ciders, but this is done very, very well. And you can tell specifically here with this, that orange, that clove bud, that cinnamon stick, that cider, it's all been mulled. So you can tell it's been cooking on the stove for a while. That's what this feels like. Maybe say your more traditional apple cider where they're really not kind of going for that mold effect, that cooked effect. That's exactly what it is, and it is nailed to perfection. I don't know how long it's been. I want to say since 2017, since I've burned this particular candle. That was one of the very last mulling spices in my collection, was in 2017. It was a large jar. Had a lot of good memories with that one in my old house. Mulling Spices at number 3. And then at number 2, oh boy, what do I choose? I mean, okay, we're gonna go with this one. I wanna say it was 2019 or 2018 when this last came out in the Elevation collection. Tonka Bean and Pumpkin. You guys remember the Elevation collection? Oh, the Spice Girls of collections. Oh, that's good. Okay, I know people are gonna see Tonka Bean and think, well, is that a perfumey vanilla? No, I hate when people describe Tonka Bean as a perfumey vanilla. That's not true at all. I mean, guys, we're going in pumpkin pie territory here. That's what we're talking about with Tonka Bean and Pumpkin. I mean, it's got like a little bit of a smokiness. It's more kind of creamy than anything else. There's no real bakery here. So when I say pumpkin pie, I mean the innards of a pumpkin pie. This is so much better than their original pumpkin pie fragrance. Too much butter in that. I don't put butter in my pumpkin pie. Why does that original pumpkin pie smell so much like butter? Tonka Bean and Pumpkin, yeah, I want to say it was out for that first year, that 1 year that it came out for fall. Then we never saw it again. Because honestly, it's one of the best fall candles that they've made in the past decade. Of course, over the past 5 or 6 years, it's easily the best fall candle that they've done. I can't think of anything else that I would put in this class. Of course, we have Pumpkin Apple Parfait and Cider House that both came out in 2019. I don't remember, but if this did come out in 2019, that would have made that year even better. For some reason, I'm wanting to say it came out in 2018 though, but I'm not 100% sure. Man, Yankee Candle, you guys are missing a huge chance here to bring this one back. Tonka Bean and Pumpkin, come on now, you know that one would sell very, very well. And then at number 1, I want to say it was either 2009 or 2010 since we've last seen this candle. And I think it was right around then when it first came out too. It is Moonlight Harvest. Now, for years, I have been harping about the fragrance, home fragrance trend of using gourmand, or let's go with fall foodie. Let's say foodie in this case. Foodie meets outdoorsy. I know it's not a hugely popular trend. I know not everybody loves it, but for fall especially, I feel like it just works. Certainly when you do it this well, and there's a lot going on in this Moonlight Harvest. The first thing I get is almost like a sweet effervescence. Almost like the sweetness you would smell in a Dr. Pepper or a Coca-Cola. That type of sweetness, almost like corn syrup. It's not vanilla, it's not real sugary at all. That's the type of sweetness I'm talking about here. And then just below that, it's like a pumpkin spice. But we're not talking cooked pumpkin here. No, we're not really even talking real foodie. I mean, you could probably be taken in that direction just simply because pumpkin does that for people sometimes. This is more of a fresh pumpkin, but it's lightly spiced, a little bit of spice. It's not a real heavy spice cinnamon candle, not really at all. You got that sweetness from the beginning, the opening, then you've got that kind of mid of pumpkin and spice, and then on the bottom, it's not smack you in the face. You've got a little bit of a cool overnight late October breeze, okay? Specifically late October, because especially where I live, we're not getting that overnight during, the first part of fall. That just ain't happening. You gotta wait until closer to Halloween. And I feel like that's exactly what they're going for here. All of that, from the opening of that sweetness to that pumpkin spice to that end where that cool, brisk autumn air is coming from. Moonlight Harvest at number 1. Something like Moonlight Harvest just is not being done right now. Tonka Bean and Pumpkin. I know this was not a huge seller, probably just because it was in the Elevation collection, and a lot of people probably ignored that. I mean, Mulling Spices, sentimental reasons. Who doesn't love an apple cider for fall? I know it's an acquired taste, but happy Halloween. Nobody's doing black licorice. Nobody is. And I know there's people out there saying, yeah, there's a reason nobody's doing black licorice. But spooky for Halloween? Come on now. And of course, Autumn Dusk, the European release. How many people need to smell this? I mean, I know a lot of people are going to think it's basic. It's all woods. Well, I mean, that's kind of what the point of it is. It's very simple. And that's really where the greatness lies, is that simplicity, that kind of smoked woodiness. So that's my list of 10, technically 11 fragrances that I would love to see Yankee Candle bring back for fall. Let me know what you guys would like to see them bring back for fall in the comments below. I love talking to you guys. I appreciate you watching. I'll talk to you soon. See ya.